Welcome to another edition of Sports Junkies. Time to do a little packet talk with my good buddy Gery Woelfel.
Yeah, we're back.
See Sparky
After our 1 week sabbatical.
Yes, from Sports Radio 1250, and then you won't see Gery for about a month after this. So just enjoy him while you got him.
I'm going on a scouting mission to the Great Northwest.
To the Great Northwest, and we'll see how that goes when he comes back in about a month. Okay,
if I don't fall off the cruise liner,
it makes not come back. Let's talk about
guarantees.
Let's talk about this Green Bay Packers football team. They stumble in week one, I guess, might be the best way to put it. No, they got crushed in week one, let's be honest. The Seattle Seahawks absolutely owned this Green Bay Packers football team. I don't know how many people thought they would beat the Seahawks, but I don't think anybody saw them being dominated.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I mean, question for you. When's the last time the Packers beat a good team? They've been getting their butts kicked.
They beat the Bears.
Oh, come on. I said
the Bears are a good team.
They're average at best.
Whatever, fine.
No, but seriously, when's the last time they beat a great team?
You're talking about San Francisco, Seattle. They haven't beaten them.
No, they can't beat the really good teams. I mean, we could just bash the Packers left and right. To me, it was like one of the worst performances by a Mike McCarthy team in a long time. And they didn't have any desire, any motivation. They were flat.
They were outcoached.
Oh, no question. And you can't say that very often about a Mike McCarthy team. I mean,
yes.
but you're absolutely right.
Yeah, they were outcoached. I mean, you had guys not being on the field when they're supposed to be on the field, having too many guys on the field. This whole less package or less packages, more personnel, or whatever the heck McCarthy wanted to do was a complete train wreck. It was a disaster. Now, I don't know how much longer you can allow Dom Capers to sit upstairs, not have him on the sidelines, kind of direct everything. For me personally, I would want him on the sidelines. I know he gets a better view sitting up on top. He can see the field and what people are doing. I understand the advantage of being up there. I understand the advantage of an offensive coordinator being up in the box. I get that. Mm-hmm. But when you have all these moving parts now with his defense, I think he needs to be on the sidelines.
I think Dom Capers should have been fired. I came on record, last year already, and I thought he should have been fired the year before. This defense shows no signs of getting better. They're trying to be cute and fancy, and it's not working. What do you say? I mean,
what I say is,
and I don't know if they have any confidence in the guy either.
Well, part of the reason is the general manager screwing this whole thing up too. I mean, I'm not getting Ted a pass on this. We've talked about this in the past. You play a 3-4 defense, and your general manager says, I'm drafting best available, and then you end up drafting 4-3 guys and tell your coaching staff, yeah, I know they're 4-3 guys, but make them work in the 3-4. So now this year you decide, okay, well, I'm going to play some 4-3. And what happens? You don't have the personnel to play it. Now Pickett's gone, Jolly's gone. The guys that when you had the personnel, you didn't play it. Now you let two of your key guys go where they would have worked in a 4-3, and you let those guys roll out. They're too small on the defensive line. And that was their objective, to get lighter and younger on the defensive line, and they got hammered. And now this week it's the Jets. And this Jets football team, now again, it was the Raiders in week one. But this Jets football team ran all over them with Ivory and Chris Johnson.
Ivory looked good Sunday.
If you can't stop the run, you're going to have a problem winning football games. You just are.
Yeah, and again, Morgan Burnett was the leading tackler last week. And I brought this up, 3-4 weeks ago. I think this experiment with Peppers is going to be an absolute failure. There were several plays last Sunday where his feet were like in cement. I mean, Lynch just blew right by him because he didn't have the lateral quickness, the reaction ability to make a tackle. And incredibly, he probably was one of the better linebackers.
Yes,
because
Brad Jones,
non-existent.
No, this is what I'd do. I'll tell you what I'd do. Brad Jones has a quad injury.
Yeah.
If I am the Green Bay Packers, you're not playing this week. We'll make sure 100%, Brad. We'll get you out there next week. Meanwhile, I want to see what Lattimore can do at inside linebacker. And I'm going to play him against the Jets and see how he does. With the real bullets fly, no preseason stuff, go out there and start and play next to A.J. Hawk and see what happens. That's what I would do. And then if Lattimore plays well and shows you he can play the position in a game for 4 quarters, then there's your new starting inside linebacker, and the Brad Jones experiment is over. The problem is, Ted Thompson paid A.J. Hawk all that money, and then had to step back from that because that was a waste of money. Paid Morgan Burnett all that money, that's been a waste of money to this point. And now you pay Brad Jones all that money, and that's turned into a waste of money. I'm all about keeping your own guys, but keep the right ones.
It's a sad unit. I just don't see how they're going to get much better as the season goes on.
Well, Hockley and Dix should and will improve, I would imagine.
He's got nowhere to go but up. I mean, give him credit for being able to pursue the ball. I mean, he goes after the ball as well.
Covered a fumble.
Right. But he blew tackle after tackle.
Yep.
I mean, it was embarrassing. It was almost like a high school kid trying to make a tackle.
Right.
And at that level, you can't miss tackles.
Well, it's
that
funny.
simple.
They asked Rex Ryan, the head coach of the New York Jets, why did you take Calvin Pryor, the safety from Louisville, over Hockley and Dix?
Yeah.
Hockley and Dix, and he said, I wanted somebody that's going to smash you in the face.
There you go.
That's who I wanted, and I thought Calvin Pryor was that guy. Well, now Hockley and Dix, when told that came out, he said, I'll show him. I'll show you. You'll see throughout the year, you'll see that I'm going to do that too. Now, I agree with Rex Ryan. If you want somebody that can just punish people, Pryor's your guy. If you want somebody that's going to be smart on the backside and be able to do everything, Hockley and Dix is your guy. Now, Hockley and Dix works if there's a Leroy Butler next to him, if there's a Nick Collins next to him, a smart guy that can play the backside, allow him to come up in the box prior, come in the box and punish people and hit guys coming over the middle. That works. But when Morgan Burnett's the other guy, you still got to find the guy that can still do everything. Because Morgan Burnett doesn't do anything.
Yeah, you know what? I am not a big fan of Morgan Burnett's either. But I'll say this in his defense. I thought he was the best player on the defense last week. Oh, yeah, I know. But that speaks volumes of their defense. I think he led them in tackles, if I'm not mistaken.
What does that mean, though?
I know it. It tells you, why
he has the first level and the second level, and now he's running after trying to get.
And I can understand getting to the second level because a lot of defenses are designed for your linebackers to make tackles. But when your safety leads you in tackles, you know you're in trouble.
How many interceptions did the safeties have again?
Again, yeah.
Yeah.
Conversely, and we talked about this again a couple weeks ago, and I've never said this about a Mike McCarthy team, but I noticed in one of the preseason games that the Packers' wide receivers had trouble getting open.
Yeah, separation.
Against Seattle, the same darn thing. Rodgers would go back in the pocket, he'd wait, and there was nothing to wait for because they couldn't get open.
Okay, answer me this.
Yeah.
Why are you avoiding Richard Sherman so much? He's not Deion Sanders. He's not. I mean, Richard Sherman's a very good player. Is he Deion cover-wise? No. He is good, though. I paid Jordy Nelson.
Richard Sherman.
Yes.
Oh, okay. They said Richard Rodgers.
I don't think so.
Never mind.
If I did,
Let's
I
look at the tape.
You take Jordy Nelson and you pay him all that money.
I agree.
And you can't get him over there. Hey, Jordy, I paid you all that money. Go beat your guy. Best against best. Go be our best and separate yourself. And let Boykin come over here and beat somebody else. To me, that game plan was horrible. I absolutely hated it.
It was disturbing because Mike McCarthy didn't coach his typical good game. I thought he was, for instance, on that fourth down when they decided to go for it, and he's discombobulated on the sidelines. He's got to keep his poise out there. Rodgers didn't keep his poise when he had
yelling at the center.
Yelling at the center.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I don't know if they were over-geeked for this team or this game because they wanted to go into Seattle and make a statement, but man, I'll tell you what, for a veteran team, a good veteran team, they showed no poise.
Another question.
Yeah.
4 exhibition games. 1, 2, 3, 4. Didn't matter who the quarterback was. What were they doing? No huddle. Up to line of scrimmage. No huddle.
Exactly.
Season starts. Where'd it go?
Right.
Where did it go?
But that was predicated on the new center and playing in Seattle. I guarantee it.
That's just ridiculous. And you go through all this trouble to get ready for it. You know where you open the season. You know what's in Seattle.
There are so many subplots to this Packers season already. After week 1, we've already been all over the map talking about the Packers. I'll give you another thing I think that's a big concern. Eddie Lacy's concussions.
Well, that's 2 a year.
Exactly. He had 1 last year, now 1 again. You just hope for his sake this doesn't happen again, because then it really becomes a concern.
Well, and then you have injury-prone James Starks behind him.
Yeah.
And then DeJuan Harris. So at least you've got some protection for a short term, depending on if Lacy has to miss a game at some point. Okay, Starks and Harris can make it work, but you don't want that to be a long-term problem. I agree with you on that 100%.
I think that's something to bear watching.
Packers, Jets. Who you got? At Lambeau, 3 o'clock start.
They're going to kill him. They're going to kill him. I think the Packers are one of the best bounce-back teams in the league, number 1. Rodgers knew, I think his passer rating was, 86?
Something.
I mean, that's like 20 points under his career average. he's going to bounce back. They aren't playing Seattle in Seattle. I look for them to roll.
I don't know if Aaron Rodgers will be able to stand up for the entire game.
They'll be okay.
That front seven for the Jets is very, very good. Mm-hmm. If you get forced to start Sherrod at right tackle and a rookie center, not good news.
No, it's not.
If Bulaga starts at right tackle, he's wearing this gigantic, huge brace that's got to slow him down some. That's also not going to be fun either. I think the pass rush that they bring from the Jets is going to be a factor. And if Lacy can't go because of that concussion, that's one less weapon that you have to go to. That's what I fear. The other issue that I have is, if I'm the Green Bay Packers, I'm walking everybody up into the box. Everybody comes up. You're not running the football. Our 3-down defensive linemen stink. I get it. But safeties everybody's coming up. I'm going to treat them like they're Wisconsin. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Geno Smith, you're the new Taylor McAvoy. You're going to beat us through the air. You are not running this football. And if they don't do that and they go off and get 200 yards rushing the Jets, they deserve to lose the football game.
Absolutely. And you're absolutely right about the Jets' front seven. Very, very good. But at the same time, that's the beauty of Rodgers. He's got a quick release. He doesn't normally sit in the pocket for more than a second and a half. He gets rid of the ball pretty quickly. So you can have the fearsome foursome up front. It doesn't matter because Rodgers is so good.
He has been knocked on for the last several years for holding on to the ball.
You know what, though? Against Seattle, and it comes back to what I said earlier, their receivers were not getting open. On a consistent basis. Yeah, they were open at times. But it's like, I can't tell you how many times Rodgers is like, okay. And he's being patient, waiting for something to happen. And nothing happened.
Well, we're going to find out because these are the same guys that he had. Well, at least Jordy, Boykin, and Nelson.
Who?
Jordy, Boykin, and Cobb.
Did Boykin play last Sunday?
Yeah. He was the decoy running around.
Yeah, I was going to say, it made absolutely no sense.
Well, whatever. He's Gery Woelfel of the Racine Journal-Times. Steve Sparky Fifer of the Wendy's Big Show weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week. Well, I will. He won't.
I'll call in from Anchorage.
Bye-bye.
With the Anchorage Bearcat update.
Hi, I'm Matt Collins. I'd like to welcome you to Bob Weber Auto Mart on Douglas Avenue here in Racine, across from Douglas Park. We specialize in 1-year-old, low mileage, almost new cars. And if you'd like to stop by and see them, or see them on our website, bobweberautomart.com, we could save you between $5,000 and $10,000 on your next almost new car purchase.